Great to be back at a live conference again. I'm going to be talking about blue sky uranium today. We'll be making some forward-looking statements. During the talk today, I'll touch on three main points, a few slides on the uranium market. I'll talk about our Amarillo Grande project in Argentina, and a little bit about the potential that we believe that it has. Blue Sky Uranium is a company that's listed on the TSX Venture Exchange. It trades under the symbol BSK, and we're also listed on the OTC QB and the Frankfurt Exchange. And we're focused on exploring and advancing uranium projects. We own over 400,000 hectares of high potential mineral rights in Argentina, and we're focused on the Amarillo Grande project, which you can see on the slide there is in the northernmost Patagonian province of Rio Negro. Blue Sky is a member of the Grosso group of companies that have been real pioneers of mineral exploration in Argentina since the early 1990s and have been credited with 4 major discoveries since that time, including Guacamayo, Navidad, Chinchillas, and the one we're going to talk about today, Amarillo Grande. 2 of those are still in production, Guacamayo and Chinchillas. This is the main team behind the company. It's led by the chairman, Joe Grosso, who really has been promoting mineral exploration in Argentina for almost 30 years. Nico Kakos is the CEO. He's been working with Joe ever since the beginning. I'm a geologist, and I'm on the board and have been involved with the company since it was formed. In Argentina, we've got Guillermo Pensado, our VP Exploration, who's a very experienced uranium exploration geologist. Jorge Brizo, that you see in the center there, was very instrumental in the discovery of Amarillo Grande back in the mid-2000s. And then Chuck Edwards has been he's a world-known metallurgist based out of Saskatchewan here in Canada. And he's helped to oversee all of our metallurgical test work and process design work. If you follow uranium, you've probably seen this graph a number of times over the last little while, projecting the supply-demand gap between demand and supply over the next 20 years or so. And we're seeing the effect of that just in this year with the run-up in the spot price. It's come back up over $50, the highest it's been since the Fukushima disaster in 2011. And so we're in a good spot right now with in the uranium exploration and development industry, better than it's been for quite a few years. What many of you probably don't know, or a lot of investors don't know, is that Argentina is actually quite a nuclear country. It's got 3 operating large-scale nuclear reactors providing power, another one under construction, and several more in the planning stages. They produce small-scale reactors for export, and they're quite sophisticated and have been since the 50s in the nuclear space. The one thing they don't have is any domestic production. They have had some in the past, but they don't have any right now. But they do have all the legislation in place to support the exploration and development of uranium projects. So turning to the project now, this is a photograph here that you can see on the slide of a RC drill rig over top of the Havana deposit that I'll be talking about. As you can see, it's basically flat, scrubby brushland with not a lot of agricultural value and very low population density, a great place to explore. This map that you see on the right-hand side of this slide shows the land position that we've assembled at the Amarillo Grande project. It spans a 145-kilometer trend, so it's a massive package of mineral rights, over 250,000 hectares. We made the initial discovery back in 2006 up at the northwest end at Santa Barbara, and then we've continued to explore to the southeast. Anit was discovered in 2008, and we did quite a bit of work there involving air core drilling, trenching, and pitting, and defined a 5.5-kilometer long at-surface zone of uranium-vanadium mineralization within a larger radiometric anomaly. And then we discovered this Havana area down at the southeast in 2011. And continued exploration down there resulted in the discovery of the Havana deposit in 2017. We quickly drilled that off and put out an initial resource in 2018. And then we completed an updated resource and a PEA that was based on that in 2019. We believe that the Amarillo Grande project has a very comparable geological setting to many of the deposits in Kazakhstan. They're sandstone-hosted or roll-front type deposits, and some of the largest in the world, and they're the largest producer of uranium in the world today. The main sort of characteristics that you want to take away on Amarillo Grande is that all the mineralization that we've identified to date along this trend is either located at or near surface, generally within about 25 meters of surface, and that doesn't mean that there's not potential at depth, but we've been focused on the near surface with our work to date. It's hosted by loosely consolidated clastic sediments, and the zones of mineralization tend to be laterally extensive, often kilometers in scale. Summary here of the mineral resource, current mineral resource statement. It's an inferred resource, 28 million tons of 0.037% U3O8 and 0.019% V2O5, giving almost 23 million pounds of uranium and 11.5 million pounds of vanadium. Low grade, but it's right at surface in unconsolidated clastic sediments. The main minerals are carnotite and the oxide are nearest surface zone, and coffenite, which is very common in this type of deposit. This is a plan map of the deposit showing its outline with the red line. That's the current mineral resource. The colors indicate grade, and so it's got a high-grade core, but it measures about 5 kilometers end to end, and it forms this arcuate shape around a basement high. You can see where the drill holes that were used to define it are located, and it varies from a couple hundred meters wide to 500 meters wide, and it's up to 23 meters thick, and as I said, right at surface. We've published some results over the last several years indicating that there's potential to expand the deposit to the west, where you see all those colors. Those are pits, and we've just completed a 3,500 meter drill program testing that area, and is also carrying out some infill drilling and boundary definition drilling. We've just put out initial results from that program, so the bulk are still yet to come, but we've had some good results from both outside the current mineral resource and within and along the boundaries. So we're eagerly awaiting the results from the rest of that drilling, and we'll be putting it out to the market as we get it. As part of the PEA that we completed in 2019, we carried out quite a bit of metallurgical test work and published this two-step processing plan, which involves an initial stage of wet attrition scrubbing and screening using a mobile plant that would move around the site, and we've been able to achieve a 4 times increase in the grade at that stage, and recovery of about 90% for both uranium and vanadium, and then that concentrate would be piped to a hydromet facility where we'd treat it further with alkaline leaching, which is really just sodium carbonate and bicarbonate. And so the overall process recovery that we've been able to achieve in this test work is 89 or 85% for uranium and 53% for vanadium. And all that work has been carried out mainly at SRC under the direction of Chuck Edwards. So these are the results of the PEA that we put out in 2019. As you can see, the NPV at an 8% discount came in at $135 million, and the IRR was close to 30%. The reason we really did this back then was to determine what would the capital cost look like for putting something like this into production, and what would the operating cost be. Well, you can see it there, $128 million for the pre-production capital, including $28 million of contingency, $35 for ongoing CapEx. And the cash cost came in at just over $16 a pound net of credits, and the all-in sustaining cost was just over $18. So very, very good numbers on that side. You can see that we used $50 uranium at the time, which is very, very reasonable considering the current spot price. Low strip ratio, obviously, because it's right at surface. It contemplated a 6,400 ton per day of mineralization going to the plant, and would produce about 1.35 million pounds of uranium annually for 13 years. So if this was in production today, this is where it would sit on the cost curve of all the major deposits that are in production. This is a little bit dated, but it's still quite current in terms of what it shows. And so the operating cost would put Havana down amongst all the sort of low-cost ISR deposits, many of which are located in Kazakhstan, some in the U.S., and so forth. The only conventional mining operation down at the low end of the cost curve is Olympic Dam, which recovers uranium as a byproduct. So I think with a project moving forward in the current environment, this is certainly where you want to be. Just one slide here on what we're actually doing right now. We're completing a 4,500-meter exploration drilling program, testing some of the outside targets. We believe there's a lot of potential for new discoveries on this large land package, and we've been working on this over a number of years. And so we've completed some initial drilling on this north target. We're now focusing on the Havana Central, and once we complete that drilling, we'll decide on where the best areas to follow up will be and deploy another 1,500 meters chasing that. So I'm running out of time here, so I'll just leave you with a few final highlights. We've got a management team that's got a long track record of success making discoveries in Argentina. We've taken Havana from a grassroots discovery in 2017 to the largest 43-101 uranium resource in Argentina. We've completed a PEA, so we've got quite a bit of that under our belt. We believe that we've got potential for supplying a domestic supply of uranium in the future, potentially in Argentina, and we've got control of this district-scale land package that we've put together with a lot of expansion and exploration potential. Blue Sky's got approximately 185 million shares outstanding right now, and we're trading around 20 cents. And I'm out of time, but if you'd like more information, feel free to come by our booth or go to our website or give us a call. Thanks.